Ariana Grande. Such fakery. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. One of my most important videos about the subject of narcissism is the imitation game. It's crucial viewing to enable you to understand why narcissists behave as they do, and I'd very much encourage you to watch it, or watch it again if you already have done so. In essence, because the narcissist has no emotional empathy, it is the job of the narcissism to cause the narcissist to emulate certain appropriate responses in certain situations to maximize the prospect of controlling people by fitting in, drawing fuel from them, and attending to the other aspects of the prime aims. The more able the narcissist is to provide a commensurate and accurate response, the more likely they are to maintain or gain control, draw fuel, etc. Certain narcissists, your glorious narrator included, are highly skilled at doing this. This is a consequence of the evolution of our narcissism, so that it has the capacity to allow us to learn how we ought to respond. Indeed, I have spent years observing people, listening to people, watching how they respond, so that I understand what is deemed as the appropriate reaction in certain circumstances, so that I can then emulate that. I have a huge array of responses in that virtual warehouse where the cherry picker goes to select the appropriate response. So I understand, don't feel, I understand the way that I should look, speak, the tone I should use, the look on my face, the body language that should be utilized in certain circumstances. I don't respond through feeling and emotional empathy. Instead, I respond in an intellectual way. I've learned what is deemed appropriate. And if I deem that it is appropriate to utilize that response, I do so. Naturally, there are some occasions where I do not deem that it is appropriate to use what you might refer to as the standard or expected response. But usually I will do so as not to expose myself. With other narcissists further down the pecking order, the extent to which they are able to do this varies, and it provides you with an excellent opportunity whereby you can see certain responses which you might think that doesn't quite fit right. For instance, the individual started to laugh in respect of somebody's misfortune before stifling it. Their reaction was somewhat over the top with regard to the circumstances. The grief that they exhibited was way too great for somebody that they barely knew. This of itself doesn't mean that somebody is a narcissist because there is an incongruous response, but it is often a strong indicator. The way to look at it is to think of it like a robot that has been programmed to respond in appropriate ways. It doesn't naturally feel that way to respond. It has to have been programmed, and sometimes the programming doesn't get it right. So the result is the narcissist glitches, and the response that you see of the narcissist is one that you think is strange, that it doesn't fit with the circumstances, and will often give the narcissist away. Well, we have an example of this in relation to Ariana Grande. I've highlighted her before in respect of that sickening performance with the other lady whose name escapes me when they appeared in a joint interview concerning Wicked, where their response was nauseating, exaggerated and over the top. Well, we see another instance of Grande's narcissism causing her to misfire. She's caught on camera and she knows she's on camera, hence the narcissism goes into performative overdrive, where she's at the Ozzy Osbourne tribute by Young Blood and Steven Tyler. I've had to remove the sound to avoid copyright complications. The sound isn't really relevant, it's the reactions that you need to focus on. Have a look at this footage. fake, isn't it? It's quite clear. And you most likely would watch that and think, yeah, that reaction isn't right. It's over the top. It's fake. It's put on. But you, valuable viewers, have the advantage of understanding that it's driven by her narcissism. I understand that in the comments to that particular video, there are many people that have identified it as fake behaviour, but they don't truly understand why that is. And it is because Grande knows the camera is upon her, which means that there is an opportunity for her to assert control over the viewership and draw fuel from them, to also manage the facade. She wants to be seen to be caring about the tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. I don't believe that she's particularly a fan. After all, she doesn't appear to be singing along to the words, so she's not that familiar with his work. And so what we witness is her with this expression of disbelief. Wow, look at this. Hands to head. The open mouth, the shocked look. It'll probably put you in mind of that other narcissist that I talk about regularly, this one's wife, and her over-the-top responses. Remember what she was like when she happened upon the ducks? A preposterous response, which was her narcissism glitching because it caused her to go into an overly performative response, which wasn't commensurate with what she was witnessing. And it's similar for Ariana Grande. With the camera on her, the narcissism realizes that a performance is required. So what does it do? It provides one, but it's too much. It's cranked it up to 11 when 6 would have been appropriate. You can see by the supposedly startled look, this disbelief, this wow, I can't believe I'm witnessing this, wow, this is amazing, and so forth. First of all, I don't think she's particularly a fan. Secondly, if you truly were, you would react with delight, but probably not in the way that she has done so. And thirdly, we know that she's a narcissist, and therefore we know that she is going to behave in a performative fashion, and she's caught out here. You can see her fakery writ large as a consequence of the way that she has responded, and it is driven by her narcissism, which is seeking to obtain, as always, the prime aims, but does so in a way whereby it malfunctions. This isn't a genuine reaction driven by emotional empathy. It is a performative response driven by what her narcissism thinks is the appropriate response in such circumstances, but clearly isn't, and gives her away. It gives her away so that many people have identified that they believe that it's fake. And for those of you who have the benefit of the knowledge provided to you by your glorious narrator, you recognise that what's truly going on is the performance of a narcissist. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for watching.